I'm getting an echo. Wait a minute. Am I echoing on your end? I'm
Nope.
bouncing.
Nope, I think I got it.
Okay, there it is. Hi. Hope everybody had a fabulous week. I'm still recuperating from my back. It's gone from my neck down to my sciatic nerves. So I'm going to be fidgeting a little more than normal tonight because it gets very uncomfortable. And I'm so sick of the snow. So I had to do something cheerful, hopeful that spring will be coming soon to all of us who are freezing and still suffering with annoying snowfalls. The Phillies played their first spring game today, so here's the hat and the shirt.
Misha, would you like us to send you a Cardinals hat and keep you warmer?
And I'll set your Phillies hat. We'll swap. And at least this is somewhat of a reminder. Eventually, spring's going to be here. We had a teaser here over the weekend. It was like 55. That was short weather for us, considering what we've been having. I did let you know you'd get a quick sneak peek at a deck tonight, so I'm going to do a quick, give you only a sneak peek, because in 2 weeks I'll be doing a show and tell, and I have a surprise guest joining me that's going to be doing it with me in 2 weeks. But for now, this just arrived today, so I didn't have a chance yet to thoroughly go through it. It's from Schiffer, and it's Richard Shadowfox's Tarot of the Night. The picture on the lid of the box is actually the picture that's on the star card. It's a very neat deck with what I went through and looked at for doing readings at para conferences, para investigating conferences, and for a Halloween deck as well. It's a lot of ghostly images in it, skeletons, and nighttime creatures. That is the little sneak peek teaser that you get for it. We'll talk more about it in full in 2 weeks. I'm going to open the phone lines later on in the show as well to take your calls. We're going to do mini reads for you, and I'll go over the rules for that when the time comes. And tonight, I have the fabulous Cindy Lee back with me again. We just end up having time fly, and I just have to keep bringing her back. She actually, if you missed, and she was on twice, if you missed the first episode that she was on, we touched just very briefly on reincarnation and past lives, and it casually came up that I hate drinking water. That water, and people think I'm nuts because water has no taste. How do you not like something that has no taste? And what Cindy did was she had gotten a flash of a past life for me where I was just dying of thirst and struggling to look for liquids and sucking the dirt to try to get water in me. So I have Cindy Lee back with me, and since then, as she had told me that night, I might find myself drinking more water. And I actually did, but it wasn't because of remembering that conversation that I had with you, Cindy, because I had so much stuff going on, it didn't even dawn on me until you returned for your second visit and you mentioned it. And that's when I go, yeah, I am. Not the amount of water you're supposed to. But I am starting to drink water now, like I should. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you for having me, Misha. Thank you.
Joining me. Such a pleasure having you on.
Thank you. I look forward to this evening.
So do I. I love having you on. So just to refresh everybody's memories and fill in for those that missed the first episode when you were on, how did that information come to you regarding me and the water? Do you recall?
Well, yeah, we were talking about the reincarnation, and all of a sudden, I saw you scrounging there. It was more like mud. And I knew that once that life was cleared for you, you would probably be able to drink water again. But we did not know until the following month when you said, "Oh, yes, I am."
This isn't water in here, however, though. I still have my Coca-Cola addiction. So how have you been?
Shall we drink the Coke?
Okay, there you go. How have you been? How's the weather where you're at?
It has been brutally cold. We've had minus 40 degrees here. It's been of course, with the wind chill. We've had, this is the fourth worst winter in recorded history.
Wow.
So it has been brutally just bad.
Yeah.
I feel like I am very lucky. We only lost power maybe 3-4 hours.
Wow.
My pipes did freeze one night, but thank goodness for hen house heaters and a close eye. I had to, crawl under the house and sit the hen house heater up close to the pipe and turn it on. And yeah. So, winter living in the Midwest. That'll do it.
Talk about records. We've had the winter with the most snowfall, accumulative snowfall of over 6 inches. We beat a record with the last one, so we are now the third most winter of the most snow that we've had. We're number 3. I think we're 6 or 7 inches shy of the second most snowiest season. And unfortunately, we still have all of March to go through, and we have the snow coming Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. They're not really saying, they keep tiptoeing around them now, if you notice.
Yeah, we are about 10 inches shy of the worst, which was back in 1978. And I missed that blizzard, thank goodness. I was living in Hawaii at the time. Yay! But my grandfather sent me photos, so I did get to see it, but I didn't experience it.
I can't. 40 below zero, you said? I can't imagine. What do you do with that? What you have to be kept inside. How do you?
Oh, you can't go out with any exposure. Otherwise, that when you wake up and it's 20 below and you're thinking you're having a heat wave.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
it's
how
like, oh my gosh.
They're making a joke of the chat room. You snot freezes in that weather.
Exactly.
It was, close to 0 degrees. And I'm thinking to myself, with the dog going out, how cold does it get before They're going to the bathroom out there and it freezes.
I know. Mine were, mine have decided that instead of going out, they're going to do it in the utility room. And it's like, oh, I'm so tired of cleaning it up. But I understand. I wouldn't want to go out.
And I keep wishing mine would refuse to go because with the snow, with the cold, all the snow did was turn into ice.
Yes.
So that big one, when we lost the power, by the time it was over, we had half a foot of it just froze solid.
Mm-hmm.
And she's out there, trying to walk on it and sliding, and then you just sit there thinking, oh my God. It's very nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And that's probably all part of what with my neck and back issues that I've had for 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm
The
sure.
shouldering, and I tend to hold my stress in my shoulders and neck anyway, and just tense, and it's just a part of me, so I don't even realize how tense I am in here.
After the fact.
Mm-hmm. And then being without the heat, and when you're cold, your body automatically tightens up to try to stay warm.
Mm-hmm.
And the shuffling on top of it. This is the second week. The first week I was constant nonstop headache and migraines. And then for whatever reason, all of a sudden, the one morning, I just heard chiropractor. And I'm thinking, chiropractor? Nothing's hurting. Yeah, the neck was tingy and sore. But I was throwing that off to, just keeping it tight and tense. But I said, oh, okay, what the heck, I was a couple blocks away, let me stop in. And sure enough, at that first visit, he found I had 2 pinched nerves. One that was literally affecting the headaches, and the other, a problem that I've been having on and off for a year with my elbow. That's been coming and going. And then it just, you always compensate when something hurts, and you end up pulling something else out of whack. So try to pay attention to the neck and keeping the shoulders loose. Apparently I had tightened up my lower back. Because then 2 days later, it was last Wednesday morning, I woke up, I couldn't move. I couldn't roll over, just shooting right down my leg. And I knew instantly, because I had the sciatic nerve issues before in the past, but this one was worse. My foot was tingling. That sensation right before it falls asleep and goes completely numb. And the calf just feels like one big muscle knot.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, it's been murder. I don't know what I want back. And then it was also affecting my blood pressure.
Oh, of course.
Headache, the pain, the stress, so it was bad. We have a question in the audience for you.
Yes.
You do intuitive health stuff. How do you feel?
I do.
So, and how do you feel about yoga?
Oh, I love it. I do. I don't do it as often as I should. Yoga can stretch your muscles so that you elongate your spine and everything kind of goes into place. It's like being your own chiropractor. And while it is not a substitute for chiropractic help, it does help you maintain the good health, along with the meditation that comes from it automatically by listening to yourself breathe and some of the positions. And no, I do not know my positions. I just know what feels good, and I do them.
Yeah, funny that, because when I was trying to look up different things, with the sciatica, yoga was always being mentioned, and I'm thinking, I can't do bends like that when my back is fine, let alone with the muscle being, I mean, it was so bad in my leg. I'm just now starting to be able to put my own shoes and socks on because it's not so much at this point, it's the back anymore. It's still radiating down the leg. I'm getting in that position with bending the leg high enough to reach the foot.
Right.
It feels just like a pulled muscle.
Right.
In the calf.
When I was in high school, I had sciatica due to a back injury, and that's just miserable.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something I ever want to repeat in this lifetime or any other lifetime. It's not pleasant. I can sympathize with you totally.
We're on the subject of that in past lives. How much of our medical issues, whether it be back issues, the sciatica giving out, comes from something being carried over from a past life and just this current life and the stresses and the motions and the snow shoveling and whatever else goes on?
I have found, now other readers or other intuitives could find different my mind just goes blank. I'm so sorry. Other information, but with my clientele, what I find is their chronic issues are usually what they bring forth from past lives. For example, your water, it was a chronic. It was something you came into the world with.
Right.
That you brought in from a past life.
Fears of heights, whatever the fears are.
Right. Right. I had a continual pain in my left side, and I would tell the doctor, it's right there, it's right there, and he's going, but there is nothing there. He says, there's no organ, there's no, that is just pure, like muscle or airspace. And I'm going, well, what hurts? Why? Come to find out, I went and had a past life regression done, and my husband, sweet man he is today, stabbed me there in a past life.
Oh.
So after I was able to forgive him for doing that in the past life, the pain went away, and I haven't had it since.
Now, in the past life, were you married, or were you
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I know that he claimed to have loved me. You gotta wonder about that, though.
Yeah.
So with that stated, I don't know if we were married or not, but I do know that he was stating that he loved me as he stabbed me. I have a hard time believing it in this life.
Right.
There's something just a little quirky about that.
Yeah.
So after I went through my meridians, our energy wiring, and straightened that out in that meridian and forgave him, I've not had any problems with it. I do not feel that you can say, okay, the reason I have asthma is because so-and-so tried to suffocate me, and I forgive them, so now I should not have asthma.
Right.
Sometimes it can be several items, not just one item. I have my mother's best friend. Her she came into the world with breathing difficulty. So her emotions, when she would stuff her emotions or she had a trauma, that the breathing, because it was already weak, is where all of her emotions seem to stick and reside. So now that she's in her 70s and she's decided to begin trying to release these emotions, she finds that she can breathe better. And like, okay, for instance, this morning, she, forgave her husband for whatever, and just, wow, I've not been able to breathe that deep in a long time. But we know from past history, when she wakes up in the morning, she'll be able to breathe better, but then she will have asthma again. So it's a layered, like an onion aspect of it. And it's just something that she will need to continue working on. And that is with everyone. You can't say, well, this is why, and I'll have forgiveness for this, or, whatever, and it'll go away. Well, if it's a layered effect, it's not going to go away. It may go away for a while, but then another layer will surface.
How often, Cindy, birthmarks are actually from an injury in a past life?
I find it very interesting. My oldest daughter, she has a scar and was born with it. It's about right here between her first and second rib. And it just looked like a dimple. And she woke up one morning, she goes, Mom, do you know that my cousin shot me with an arrow? Really? I said, where? And she says, right here. And it was right where that dimple was. I don't know how often, but I do know that it happens. I have a associate minister that I work with. And now, this area in your body is usually wrinkle-free. She has a crease. She has a small wrinkle about 1.5 inches wide. She says she's always had it. She did a past life regression with one of the readers that came in to her church, and found out that she had been stabbed about 6 lifetimes ago.
Scar tissue, so it gave the look in this life of like scar tissue would.
Right. So when she started trying to release that life, she noticed it lessened, but it hasn't gone away. Right. So yes, birthmarks can. Now I do not know, like the strawberry birthmarks or the chocolate kisses or the angel wings, I don't know how those fit in with a past life. Or, are they just genetic mutations of the skin coloring pigment? I don't know how that works.
When we were discussing past lives the last time you were on the second show, which is up on YouTube, everybody that might have missed part 1 and 2 can go find it on YouTube and catch up with what they missed. Where was I going with that now?
I missed the cue card.
Yeah, right? Put that back up again. We were along the lines we were discussing that we choose
Yes.
our current life. And, you know, we all have made jokes from time to time. This is not the life that I chose. They choose this. It's somebody else. We had gotten into about the handicapped.
Right.
Of the very, very mentally disabled, special needs. And I had said to you that one of the things that I had heard about that is when you come back that way, you're on your last life because you've like met all of your lessons that you need to learn, and then being handicapped, whatever that might be, is your
Right.
final before you're at your highest potential.
I like that idea. I had never heard it before until you had mentioned it.
Right.
Hmm.
Another question, how do you feel about cannabis? I'm saying it wrong.
Oh, but about marijuana?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. As a shaman, I do not feel the need to alter my state with an herb. The same with, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, ayahuasca. It does help you to achieve the altered state, but you have to be in that state to achieve it again and again. When you learn to put yourself in that state without the herbals, you're able to do it on or at your whim, on your whim. You don't have to say, okay, well, you know, we need to have this ceremony, or we need to do this, or, you know, I need a drink, whatever. If you need it to help you relax, you might want to look at the root cause of your stress. If you need to have something to help you relax or to get into a state of meditation. I find that when I do hands-on healing to someone or with someone that has cannabis in their system, the healing does not take effect as well as it could if they had not had cannabis. I know that they use it for glaucoma. I know that there's some medical reasons for using it. I don't understand how that works. I don't understand how it works as a medicine. As a recreational drug, I understand that.
What do you think of the whole, should it be legalized? Shouldn't it be?
Oh, my opinion is it should be legalized. I don't think it's any different than, you know, taking a drink to relax. I can't say I do not drink, but I have definitely slowed it down since my younger days. And I'm more selective about when I do drink. I always make sure that I'm not going to be in a position where someone's going to ask me for a reading or a healing, because I don't want my energy altered when I do that. It is so much easier for an entity to attach to you when you're altered that way. For me, I can't say that I I am above being attached or having an entity or a demon or something attached to me. I do find that when I do have an attachment, like I woke up this morning with an attachment and my energy felt very odd to me, very weird, and I did not know. I mean, I tried to get rid of it myself, but I did have to call somebody for help to get rid of it. So I'm always trying to keep that level up, that energy level up. But I do. I have a good cup of shine every now and then.
Hey, it's okay.
It is what it is.
We are human. Now, I want to touch on the attachment you said you woke up with.
Right.
Had you been doing a paranormal investigating? Were you doing a healing on somebody? Or, it just didn't randomly come to you and attach? Where do you think it came from?
I was I went to a friend's church, and their healing minister did not show up last night for whatever reason. I think there was an emergency, but at the time, nobody knew what the reason was. They didn't, So I stepped up to do it, and I did 2 healings back to back of 2 young ladies, and both had been using cannabis, which means their energy was not at its highest level for healing. And when I went to smooth out an energy system, there was an entity attached, and it did not go where it was supposed to go, and it attached to me. I know when it happened, unfortunately. I did not, I suspected it. When I got home that night, I realized it, and I tried to take care of it myself, but when I woke up this morning, I knew I had not been successful. And that's a lot of times too. A lot of healers think, well, I should be able to do this myself. But sometimes you just need a partner that you can count on to help you with things. And another thing, when you become a healer and your skill level is really sought after because you're becoming an advanced healer, these entities know that you're going to have more energy coming to you, and they're going to be able to feed off of it. So when you have a partner that helps you, you call them on the phone and you can say, hey, Misha, I think I have an entity attached to me. We're going to hang up now, and, sometime today, if you could check it out and remove it, I'd appreciate it. Now, I don't want you to tell me you're going to do it right now. I don't want you to tell me you're going to do it in 2 hours. Right. It's just sometime, because I do not want that entity on guard when you ask for it to be removed.
Right.
I want to catch it with its pants down.
Right. Now, I used to know somebody who went by the belief and had stated, one of the things that they did was hypnosis.
Uh-huh.
And their say, as far as somebody being attached, it was a hypnosis session I think it was to quit smoking for the person. And it was a person that never even had wanted cigarettes, and all of a sudden, in their midlife, started smoking, and they couldn't figure it out. under the hypnosis session was where it was discovered she had an attachment who smoked when they were living.
Right.
And that was why she developed the smoking habit. Anyway, the story as it had been told was that the attachment woman, she was discovered, and they were in communication with the spirit that attached itself, and they were releasing the spirit, and the spirit just like heckled and laughed and said, well, that's okay, I'll leave her and jump into your body. And the response that the person gave said, no, you know what the rules are. If you've been identified, you're not allowed to attach yourself to the person that identified you. You need to leave. I had never heard that. Now, is that...
I've never heard that either.
Is that person's own belief?
I think so.
That was just... Because when they said it, I said, what? And they're like, oh, yeah, once you recognize there's an attachment and you recognize the spirit,
Mm-hmm.
there's like an unspoken rule thing where they can't attach themselves to the one that found them and discovered them.
I have not found that to be true.
No, I didn't think so.
No, I've not found that to be true. In my own experience, I have identified them, and they've landed in my energy field. I have to call up my healing buddy and go, hey, look, guess what I did? And, if you can fix me today, I appreciate it.
Right. And that's something that can be done from a distance.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to be with the person.
No. I personally like to know the person's first name and how they're related to the person. So, like, say we were going to work on your sister. I don't even know if you've got a sister, but,
That's okay.
So you don't, and that's good. We'll use this hypothetical sister.
Yeah, there you go.
So you would tell me, okay, her name is Tanya. And I would say, okay, I'll work with Tanya. So later on in the day, because I don't want you to know, and I don't want Tanya to know, I would work on Tanya, and when I would begin the work, I would say, Tanya, Misha's sister, and Misha lives in wherever, and can you do this for me? And then, spirits either tell me yes or no, and then we go from there. But everyone is blind to the fact of what time it's going to happen.
Along the same lines.
I lost sound.
You lost sound? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Along the same lines, because people believe that this occurs often. What is your opinion on Ouija boards?
Ouija board. I have heard a lot of stories about Ouija boards. From, they open up portals to every time you get a yes, it releases another demon, to it being a tool like the tarot cards.
Right.
My thought and my belief, because I use my grandmother's Ouija board, is once you know how to make your sacred circle, use your protective shields, have the energy high enough that non-beneficials cannot talk to you. and you use it with your own spirit guides, and you don't let just anybody or anything talk to you through it, it's a safe tool. If you use it like a toy, and you let any kind of entity talk to you through it, yeah, you're asking for trouble. I mean, it's like opening the door and saying, "Oh, hello, Jeffrey Dahmer, come on in and have a cup of tea." It's not healthy. Yeah.
I have heard all sides with it as well. A lot of the belief too, like, how, what are you talking about? It's a piece of wood that came from a manufacturer off a conveyor belt, and down the line doing the imprints on it. It's just symbols on a board, just like symbols in the tarot cards.
Right. It's a piece of paper. It's according to how you use it.
And that's with anything in life.
Exactly. But, if you use this to help cast spells, it takes it into another whole different level.
Right.
That piece of wood, that piece of cardboard, that piece of paper now takes on a different layer of energy.
Right.
And when you open up the Ouija board and you let anything through, you don't know if it's going to lie to you. You don't know if it's going to tell you the truth. You don't know what the integrity of that spirit was when he or she was on Earth. And let's face it, if I'm not thinking Jeffrey Dahmer's personality was stellar. And he would have the opportunity to come through that board too if he was around. So, if you can talk to Abe Lincoln, maybe he was honest and you can talk to him. But what if he wasn't? What if Honest Abe got, that was social media building him up when he really wasn't very honest? You don't know.
Right.
So your best bet is to work with your guides that you already know. If you don't know who your guides are, I suggest you find a spiritual development teacher. You learn who your guides are, you learn where they are at around you, and you know their vibration by feel, by how they touch you, where they are when they speak to you, and know them before you decide to use the Ouija board. That's my advice.
Now, knowing your spirit guides, with that as well, there's a lot of different beliefs and opinions of that as well. One of them that I have heard throughout the years is you have to discover their name for yourself. In other words, if I was coming to you, Cindy, and I know I'm getting, I know the readings that I do for people and the information that I get is, coming from my spirit guide, but I have no clue who they are. Some believe that they're not able to say. They're able to maybe give details, male or female, an approximate age, but the actual name would have to be for me to find out on my own.
Right. I did a totem retrieval for a lady Monday evening. And when I did this totem retrieval, the totem told me its name. And the totem says, this is the name I will identify to you but it is not my name. When she comes and visits me, I will give her my real name.
Okay.
So, well, my guides have told me the reason that some entities are reluctant on giving you their name is, one, they were well known here on Earth. So if you have a guide, say George Washington is your guide. If George Washington says, my name's George Washington, are you going to believe him? If you decide to tell somebody else that your guide is George Washington, are they going to believe you? And then what if all of a sudden you have 10 people who have George Washington as their guide? And now this is really big when it comes to the Native American. Everybody wants Crazy Horse. Everybody wants Fool's Crow. Everybody wants... But who really has the real Crazy Horse? Who has the real Fool's Crow? How many picked a name out of the hat because that's who they wanted? And my guides told me that you never tell anybody your name, because once I know that your main guide is I'm trying to think of I don't know any easy one. Okay, we're going to go to George Washington. Once I know that your guide's George Washington, I know that he has military background. I know that he's really into strategy. And what's a really good way for me to attack you using black magic and wipe out your guide's ability to help you? By using what I know about him in the physical realm, I can then use that against him in the spirit realm. And that is one reason why they do not want their names to be known. Native-wise, you don't tell your totem to other people. Because if you tell me that your totem's a rabbit, now rabbit's got a lot of good traits, but I also know that I could send a fox or wolf after that rabbit and take him out, and that would cripple you for a while. That would make your creative juices that normally flow, they'd stop flowing. You know, there all different kinds of things could start happening. So that's another reason why the natives do not believe in sharing their totems. So when you have someone that says, oh, I have a wolf, you're going, are you nuts? You don't tell people that. Because, you know, I'm mad at you, so I might send the bear after your wolf. That's using it in a dark way, but not everybody's nice.
Right. Totems is another topic.
Yes.
For your next visit. We're running out of time.
No, not yet.
Already again. But one quick question regarding the totem. Do we have multiples?
Yes.
Or just, but one main one? How does that work, quick?
Very, very similar to your guides. You have a main guide and you have a main totem. And then, as you need other energies or other talents, you'll have another totem step up. So, you have your rabbit, and you've created all this wonderful stuff. So the next totem that might step up would be like Wolf. Wolf is a teacher. So now you're teaching people how to do your craft. Oh, that makes sense because what do? You teach people the tarot. So there you have your wolf come in. And then maybe you have buffalo because you're going to sell what it is you made.
Okay.
Buffalo is about abundance. So not only do your guides help you, but then you have your different traits from your different animals that come in and help you too. And that sounds like a really good topic for next month.
Yes, it does. There you go. We established it.
Okay, guys. Topic. Totem. Next month.
Next month when Cindy joins me back. Let everybody know how they can reach you.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Time, whether it's standard or not. 8 to noon at provenpsychics.com or at stars with a Z, psychics.com. I'm at both places. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning, 8 to noon. Thank you. I hope to see some of you guys there. And how do we get in contact with you?
I can be found on Facebook. The show can be found on Facebook. It's in the cards. To locate me, Tarot by Misha or tarotbymisha.com. Either way, you can get a hold of me through Facebook or pop me an email, tarotbymisha@aol.com. I always forget to do that for myself. Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
And on that note, we need to call it an evening and wish everybody a safe, happy week. See you next Wednesday. Good night.